So I have to start off with this. There have been so many rumors that you are considering running for Pittsburgh mayor. Are you going to run?
So yeah, I hear it all the time. I mean, I think it's an honor that people ask me those questions every day. And I look around the city and I just see people that are not satisfied with what's going on. We've stalled out in growth. Crime is high in neighborhoods. And I look at the situation and I say, I believe I can make a difference if I choose to do this. But I think right now for us, as you're here in my house, I think first holiday is always important. And I think, we're going to sit down, talk as a family, and come to a final decision, hopefully in the next couple of weeks.
In the next couple of weeks. But it sounds like you're seriously considering it.
I'm seriously considering. Yeah, I mean, I think just what you're seeing, I believe Pittsburgh deserves better. When you're not talking about, that's okay. You want to go back?
He just wanted to try
you
it
wanted,
out
You wanted to
just a
say
little
hi? Okay.
And he's fine.
We'll go get you that. I know. Let me
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I told her that's what my son did once when I was being interviewed.
Just jumped in.
But
Okay.
so let's pick up with that.
Okay.
It sounds like you are seriously considering it.
Yes, I believe I am. I think we all are at this point, and I think it's great that residents are coming up to me asking me. I'm not going out asking them. I think a lot of people are not satisfied with what they're seeing. As I said, you see no growth, you see lack of leadership, you see a lack of vision, and a lot of people are looking for that right now. I think they're looking for getting back to basics of government, and they look at it and say, we deserve better. We need money to be spent on people, not on planning and studies. So we get the question often, and I think ultimately, if I do decide, I think my background helps, being on council for over a decade, now being the county controller. So, if I make that decision, and it will not be me, it will be a family decision, as you can see. But I would be excited. I think, if you have a plan and a vision, Pittsburgh can go a long way. And I think, we deserve that as Pittsburghers.
What would you tackle first?
If I choose to run?
If you choose to run.
Well, I think there's a number of things. I mean, obviously, you have to look at the ongoing homeless issue. You have to look at stalled growth. You also have to look at, public safety and how it is really dysfunctional at this point. But I also think you have to look at helping residents and putting money back into neighborhoods. A lot of the times, as I said, we spend money on plans when the people in the neighborhood know it best. And I think that's the conversation that I would like to have growing up here. You want to spend time in your neighborhood. You want your neighborhood to be the best. And I think if you start investing in communities again, people see that there's opportunity in Pittsburgh. And I think that's why a lot of people are frustrated right now, and they deserve better because they see a lot of vacant space. They see a lot of vacant land that could be let's not just call it blighted neighborhoods. That's opportunity. It's opportunity for people to grow, for young entrepreneurs to start their own business. And I think that's why, if I choose to do this, you're coming out with a full plan of how we're going to fix this.
Let's talk about crime in the police department situation, specifically the recent police chief. Your thoughts on how all of that unfolded, including a secret deal made that he could go do some sideline refereeing at times?
Yeah, I think that is a huge problem. And that's why we deserve better. We deserve transparency. When you're hired for the top cop in the city, it can't be a backroom deal that allows you to leave for 9 weeks. I mean, basically, you're a part-time chief of police. And if that's your dream job, you need to stay here and you need to do that job. And as the mayor, you cannot make that agreement because you're putting all of our lives in danger. It's one thing to have a vacation, 9 weeks, and you're not coaching or you're not refereeing local. Big Ten is now in California. That is a judgment call that, again, when you look at public safety and you see the morale struggles that the officers have each and every day, and yet the top cop's allowed to do basically whatever they want and lie to the residents of the city of Pittsburgh, that's shocking. One, I was shocked by that, but also the lack of transparency for all of us is scary, and how many other deals like that have happened.
So you're going to think about this over the upcoming holiday. I have to ask you this. How much do you wish that you could talk to your father about this decision?
I mean, I think yeah, I wasn't expecting that question. You wish you could talk to your parents at all times. I think that's why, to me, and I remember when my dad ran, it was, you took the first holiday, you thought about it, you had conversations, because your family and loved one, they give you the actual answer. A lot of political people say, oh, do it, it'll be great. And it's like, well, is your intention correct? And I think, if I would ask him, I would say, well, what would you do for the city?
And what do you think he would say back to you?
His answer, I would not even deny, his answer would be, the people of Pittsburgh are your number one priority. So invest in people, because they make up the city that we love. And I think the investment in our people go a very long way. Oh, speaking of my dad, so Emmett's named after my dad.
Oh.
So my dad's middle name was Emmett. So there you go.
I knew that.
Can I answer a couple more questions?
Yeah, he's doing
Yeah,
good.
okay.
Okay.
Obviously he would say focus on the people, but I also think he would say that if an opportunity arises, you don't hesitate, because if your heart's in it, you love this city, you believe you can make a difference, you should go for it. But, not here to give me that advice. I just know that was him in a nutshell, is if he saw an opportunity to help the people of his city that he loved so much, he would do it, and that's what he did.
It seems to me that the city has changed a lot since your father was mayor.
It has. New people coming in and, new development happening. Well, I shouldn't say new development, but there's areas of change. But I think we haven't invested in all of the areas. And I think that's the difference. When he was the mayor, Eds and Meds were sort of just coming around. Now they're basically the heart and soul of our economy. But for us, we have to start looking at growing a future in Pittsburgh.
And downtown is so different.
Downtown is totally different. I think, if you look back at the time, 20 plus years ago, it was buzzing, it was hopping, and you have to start investing back in downtown, making it safe, making sure that people know that there's opportunities there because you have vacant space, because you have abandoned buildings. What can we do with those spaces? And now's the time to be creative, to land new companies, to expand the companies that are already here. And as the mayor, you have to make decisions that offer them a reason to come to Pittsburgh. And right now, a lack of leadership is not giving them the opportunity to come here. Let's put it that way.
Sounds like you've given this a lot of thought.
Well, I think you always think about the city. I work downtown every day. You drive around the neighborhoods. I'm raising my family here. And I think, a lot more people have come up and asked me these questions, which I think is great. But you just look around and say, could you do a better job? And do we deserve better? And do we deserve a vision of what Pittsburgh's going to look like in 4 or 5 years? And we're not hearing that at this point. So, yeah, I've thought about what I would do. I also think having the background on city council, you have the ability to come right in and make decisions. If it's me, the buck stops with me. There's no more blaming administrations of the past. That has to end. You have to take responsibility in this job, and it's the toughest job in the city. But if you stand up, you tell everybody the truth, you're transparent with the residents, they understand how difficult the job is, and they understand not every street gets paved every year, not every pothole gets fixed overnight. But if you have a plan and a vision that they believe in with you, you can really take this city to the next level.
I want to ask you about the homeless encampments too. That's been getting a lot of attention. Do you have a plan? I know you've done an audit of the situation. What do you think can happen to fix the problem?
Yeah, obviously, I don't think moving people around is solving any problems. It comes to a leadership and aligning with organizations that are in this city that want to do good work, that want to help these individuals. That's somebody's parent, loved one, and we've seen veterans out on the streets. Those are residents that we need to help. We can't just move them around. So it's having places, as we did an audit, there were 50 beds at shelters not being used at the time of our audit. That's disgraceful. These are people that need help, and they are Pittsburghers. I was taught at a young age, where Pittsburghers get together, we can help a lot of people, and that's not what we're seeing. So you also be transparent with the public. How many people need homes tonight? How, give constant updates of how these individuals are getting help. Medication is a big thing. Food, resources are another big thing. So you have to have a plan, not just shuffling them around so everything looks good for a photo op. That's not actually solving the problem.
Anything else that you want to add while we await your decision on all of this?
No, I would just, maybe I would just add, it would be an honor to do this if we decide to do this, or if I decide to do this.
Is there anything that would make you say, no, you're not going to do it?
Well, I think, talking to family and talking it all out. I do think the one benefit that I would have is, I've seen what it's like to be raised in a household, where you have young kids. I mean, I was 6 when my dad was on council. So I've seen it from both ends. I've seen it from a parent. I've seen it from a kid growing up in a political household. But you also see the difference that you can make. And if there's an opportunity to do that, our family is so close-knit. We take the kids to a lot of events. And I actually think they get to see so much, following me around the county, that we have a great time doing it. So, I think it'll be a week of family discussions and, the ups and downs of it. Elections nowadays get really nasty, and, a lot of people aren't upfront about what's going on in elections, and I think that's the hard part. But ultimately, I think, it'll be a family decision, and, we're excited to have the Turkey Day conversation, let's put it that way, yeah.
Remind me of your kids' names again.
Molly and Emmett.
Molly and Emmett, and how old are they?
Molly just turned 3, and Emmett is a year and a half.
How's it being a dad?
Oh, it's fun.
Busy.
It's always busy. I mean, the kids, they light up a room, they have a good time, and I think that's the fun part. Like we get to take it, like Saturday we went to the Strip. So we get to go and hang out and take them all over the city, and I think at a young age they get to experience so many things that, people might not be able to, and they get to meet a lot of different people. I mean, it is hard, at night when you come home and, my wife Katie says, well, they were asking for you. I missed you, but they get up so early in the morning that we get a couple hours a day before everybody goes off to work and school anyway. So.